This is the farmhouse where I grew up, where my father grew up, where my grandfather grew up, where my great-grandfather grew up. The main house was built in 1860. We got electricity in 1943 with the Rural Electrification Act. And now what I am doing is I'm removing the majority of the 1960 updates and reverting the era back to somewhere between 1920 and 1950. I'm going to show you each room in the order that I did them years ago. While I am no more of a carpenter or a designer than any member of my family has ever been, I'm doing it to suit me and my tastes. When we were test fitting the right-hand panel of the surround, we noticed that it seemed to be a little warped. And as you zoom in, you can see that in the far corner, it is more to the left than the closer section by the clamp. And that was because the fiberglass, when it was made, was a little bit warped. So what we need to do is to pull that section in so that it won't look crooked. So I went to Home Depot and I purchased some insert nuts. Now the thing about these insert nuts is they have internal fine threads and external coarse threads. So what you have to do is put a screw and lock nut into the insert nut, lock it down so that you can use the screw to screw the nut in, and you have to mark a drill bit at the depth of the nut so that you don't set it too deep. So I started by drilling a hole through the 2x4 next to the corner. Then I took a welding rod and put a little bit of red paint on it, and with the wall in place and pushed until it bottomed out against the 2x4, I put the welding rod through the 2x4 and put a little dab of red paint that you can see on the fiberglass so I know where to drill the hole. And then I drilled the hole. And then I threaded the insert into the fiberglass using the lock nut and screw using a screwdriver. And I stopped when it was flush, used a screwdriver to hold the screw, took a wrench, loosened the lock nut, spun the screw out, and this is what I was left with. And then, because I'm paranoid, I test fitted a long stainless steel screw with a stainless washer just to make sure that I hadn't buggered anything up and it would screw in just fine. And then reaching in around the wall, I put the stainless screw through the 2x4. As I was pushing the panel in as far as I could, I caught the screw into the insert, and then I just started tightening it up until it was straight across from the tub side. And now that it's straight, it looks much better, because every time I got in the shower I would notice that it was crooked. And now that the wall is straight, I decided to test fit the corner piece that Best Bath supplied. But if you look real close, you'll see that when the guy painted it, it's not the same color as the wall. It's a lighter color, and we just didn't like it. So what we decided to do was remove it and not use it, and we're just going to put a bead of silicone down that seam, and that will keep it watertight, and it's going to look far better than that poorly color matched factory corner piece. And that is the problems that we had with our tub surround wall, getting it installed exactly the way I wanted.